What's going on, everybody, and welcome back once again to the channel. Make sure to subscribe and sack that like button, and let's get straight into today's video. So in today's video, I'm going to be ranking the top 5 wide receivers currently in the NFL. I'm going to be considering everything they bring to their team, even if it's out of the wide receiver position, but it's still what they impact on their team, but this is still their position, so wide receiver position. So let's begin. So coming in at number 5, I have Deebo Samuel, who had a breakout year last year. A lot of people wouldn't call him a top 5 receiver because they don't think he's a pure wide receiver. And to those people, I really don't know what they're talking about, because last season, Deebo Samuel had over 1,400 yards receiving by itself and had 6 receiving touchdowns. His rushing ability is a big part of his game, though, too. Nearly 400 yards rushing, along with 8 rushing touchdowns. Altogether, he had 1,770 all-purpose yards, along with 14 touchdowns. That's insane. He nearly he was on the verge of 2,000 all-purpose yards. Obviously, still a little less than 300 yards to go. But this guy, I feel like, brings one of the biggest impacts a player could bring to his team, because he helps their running game, he helps their passing game, and I think to say that he is a gadget player is disrespectful after the kind of season he just had. And up to this season, a lot of people were starting to call him a little bit of a disappointment coming out of college, even though he had a solid first couple of years, but he really took off this third year. And I have him at number 5, and I think it's vital for the 49ers that they keep him entering this season, which it seems like they will. Coming in at number 4, I have Jamar Chase, who is coming off of his rookie season. Chase, I think, has made the quickest and biggest impact I've ever seen a wide receiver make to his team. You got to remember, in 2020, the Bengals were a 3-win team, I believe, and they drafted Jamar Chase with the 5th overall pick. And I remember at the time when they made that pick, a lot of people criticized the pick, saying that they were just trying to get cute and reunite Joe Burrow with his college teammate from the LSU Tigers, and they really should have taken Penei Sewell for their offensive line. Now, no doubt their offensive line struggled this year, and Penei Sewell could have helped. But Penei Sewell did not make that much of an impact with the Detroit Lions this year. Yeah, he was a solid starter. But what Jamar Chase did for the Bengals was more than any offensive lineman can do. Jamar Chase, I feel at times, really put that team on his back. It was just such a reliable target for Joe Burrow to be able to throw to. I mean, Jamar Chase had 81 catches for 1,455 yards, had a total of 13 touchdowns. This is in his rookie season. Sure, he had a couple of drops, but I remember at the beginning of the year, a lot of people were saying, oh, he's going to suck, he's going to be a bust. He was dropping passes during the preseason and camp. This guy was the complete opposite. I've never seen a wide receiver come in and immediately make this big of an impact. I think you really look at the 2020 Bengals and compare them to the 2021 Bengals, there really is no difference other than Jamar Chase. So I think Jamar Chase may be, in a few years, the best wide receiver in football. He has the speed, he has the physicality, his routes are very crisp. It's going to be interesting. Coming in at number 3, I have Justin Jefferson. Now, the Justin Jefferson versus Jamar Chase argument is very interesting, because Justin Jefferson, people would say Justin Jefferson's been doing what Jamar Chase has been doing for 2 years. Jamar Chase has just done it for 1 year. So even though that's unfair, you should still give it to the guy who's been doing it longer. And to add to it, he had more yards this season than Jamar Chase did. But Jamar Chase, people would say, well, sure, but Jamar Chase was able to lead his team to the Super Bowl. I get both arguments. I think both of them are very good. I'm going to put Justin Jefferson ahead today, because I do favor the guy who, has done it for an extra year longer. And Justin Jefferson's another guy who I don't think people realize how good Justin Jefferson is, but I don't think people realize how incredible and historic his first 2 seasons have been. I mean, his first 2 seasons, he has over 3,000 yards receiving. I mean, he's on track to beat almost every record. Obviously, it's just been 2 years, but this guy, I mean, It's just insane the numbers he's put up. Like I mentioned, the yardage. He has nearly 200 catches already in his first couple of seasons. He has 17 touchdowns already. He's been a first team All Pro. He was a first team All Pro his first year and a second team All Pro his second year. Went to the Pro Bowl both years. Justin Jefferson, I think, he's the full package at receiver. He's got some speed to him. He's got the height. He's got the physicality, and he may be the best route runner in the NFL, or at least one of the best up and coming route runners in the NFL. Coming in at number 2, I have Cooper Kupp. I think there's no doubt who the top 2 wide receivers in football are. It's a tough argument, though, who is the best. I have Cooper Kupp coming in at number 2. Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown this past season, the most catches, the most yards, and the most touchdowns when it comes to receiving. He had 16 touchdowns last season, along with 1,947 yards receiving and for 145 catches. I mean, that is a monster year. He may have had the greatest season we've ever seen by a wide receiver. He came 4 catches away from breaking the record for most, 5 catches away from breaking the record for most catches in a season. He came less than 50 yards away from breaking the record for most receiving yards. He could have broke both of those records. Obviously now he had an extra game because of the extra game, but that's part of it, I mean, he came so close. If he would have just had 5 more catches for 50 yards, he would have broken both of those records. But obviously, a monster year, came in clutch in the playoffs, and particularly against the Buccaneers and then against the Bengals, making some very tough catches in the playoffs this season. He had 478 there, so if you tack those on, that's a lot. He had 6 receiving touchdowns along with 33 catches. Cooper Kupp had a monster season. He's a very gritty player, a great route runner, and just a great possession receiver. He's not gonna, burn anybody. He's not fat. He's not super fast. He's not even super, acrobatic where he's gonna go up and make those grabs. He's just gonna find an opening in the defense and get open 100% of the time. And if you get the ball anywhere near him, he will make the catch. The ball will not fall out of his hands. So Cooper Kupp coming in at number 2. And then coming in at number 1, Devonta Adams remains number 1. I'm keeping Devonta at number 1 because he's just more of the established receiver. I know Cooper Kupp was still a recognizable household name receiver before this past season, but he didn't reach this elite of the elite status until this past year. Devonta Adams, I mean, even though he didn't reach Cooper Kupp's numbers, he still had over 1,500 yards receiving, 11 touchdowns, along with 123 catches, which is less than Cooper Kupp in all the categories. But you got to remember, Devonta Adams had to deal with being double teamed and guarded by every team's top corner every week. While sure, Cooper Kupp would face every team's top corner, but he would face less double teams because of how many threats were on that Rams offense. While Devonta Adams was really kind of, the one-man show there in Green Bay when it came to the receiving game. So he faced more, and it's tough to continue that production. But Devonta Adams, I mean, he's also the full package, great route running, great acrobatic receiver. He's not the fastest guy, but he is certainly best pure route runner in the NFL. I think it's really a toss-up who you put number 1 between Devonta Adams and Cooper Kupp. I think they're both very, very good, and I think it's no doubt that it's one of those two. It's no one else. That's the number 1, either Adams or Kupp. It's really close. But, Cooper Kupp's coming off of the bigger year, but I feel like Devonta Adams is more established, and I think coming into this year, Devonta Adams reunited with his former quarterback at Fresno State may give him even more of a boost. And Cooper Kupp, we'll see how he is able to follow up his monster 2021 season. But comment down below what you guys think about this. What do you think about my list? I'm going to keep doing these for each position. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys next time.